I am God. I am Gary Newman. Okay, so I'm a 37-year-old man. I'm God. I used to work with a man named Gary. He was my boss, you could say. I worked in IT for many years. He was I guess he was the assistant director. I think, was that his title? I think it was. There was the director of IT. His name is Ian Arbuthnot. But I didn't see him a lot. Well, sometimes. He didn't stay in the office. But in the office, there was Gary Steen. And let's say I'm not very fond of him. I don't think he's very fond of me either. Anyway. You know what's really interesting? Where I used to work, I worked in IT at a hospital, the Royal Sussex County Hospital in Brighton, in East Sussex, the southeast of England. And behind the main part of the front part of the hospital, there was a big data center behind it. And that's where I worked. I worked in the offices above a data center. So a data center is full of computers, servers, network equipment, all that kind of stuff. And Gary worked there. Gary got paid a lot of money. I don't know if he still works there, but he certainly, yeah. So apparently so. Yeah. So he always seemed to work as a contractor and just get paid loads of money. Corruption, perhaps. Yeah, I think there was some. Yeah, I think so. And we're not just talking about IT, right? Obviously. Anyways, just really fascinating. So, well, when I left that job, and I remember going to the cinema. I went to the cinema twice actually to see the film Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. And there's that scene where he goes down the stairs and he's smoking a cigarette and he's like, he's like breathing, he's dancing down the stairs and he's going down the stairs to that song by Gary Glitter, Rock and Roll Part 1, I think. Yeah, I think that's it, yeah. Rock and Roll Part 1. Or maybe it's Part 2. Could be, I'm not sure. I think it's probably Part 1. Okay, alright, yeah. So, and that's the thing, because by the data center, there was this huge stone staircase that went up beside the data center where I was working at. It's the first thing you see coming out the door. In fact, it blocks it's sort of hidden behind it. Beside it is when getting into the data center, you have to go to the left of the staircase, and there's like a gap, and then there's a door to get in. And yeah, so it's like right next to this giant staircase, and obviously I was a smoker, and bosses were never happy about me. Yeah, they obviously weren't happy about the smoking at certain points. They were always, always had something to complain about. Anyway, Um, but yeah, Gary, yeah. I've told stories about him before. Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. I'm God, and I didn't know that I'm God. I didn't know it until when I was about, you know, that was a process. It started when I was about, I don't know, well, it sort of started in 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022. So these sort of years, that's, you know, it took me time to figure out who I am. You know, it was very hard for me to believe who I am, but I am who I am. I'm good. The thing is, demons, because I worked for Gary, because I've worked for people, and they've, you know, they've been my boss on paper, right? The demons want them to try to steal my power. Because they're, you know, they're trying to make it look like I've submitted to somebody, and therefore I can't be God. It must be somebody else. It must be Gary then. I don't think so. Anyways, do you know what Gary Newman's real name is? His real name is, excuse me, Gary Anthony James Webb. Hey, you know what the James Webb Telescope is, right? Yeah. So what is, you know, the story in the book of Revelation? It talks about the second beast, you know, speaks like a dragon and set up an image in honor of the first beast whose head had been wounded as if by a sword. And so that's the thing, right? The James Webb Telescope is this thing. It's been set up. It's up in space, you know. You know, the images that get sent back, and, you know, everyone worships those images. Like, oh, wow, look at those images. They look so fucking great. Oh, yeah. But anyways, Gary Anthony James Webb. Well, that's the thing, right? Gary and Anthony. Well, my name is in there, right? Put Gary, Anthony. Well, Grant is in those two names. You don't even have to rearrange the order of the, you know, you don't have to rearrange the order of the letters. You just, yeah, Grant. Yeah. And I remember when I was a little boy, when I was a teenager, watching Kerrang TV and seeing that song by Gary Newman, RIP, or R.I.P. He's got a music video for it. It was the only time actually, I remember when I was a kid, I thought, oh, that sounds quite cool, actually, I like that. And, but I never figured out what the song was until a couple of hours ago. So, yeah. Fascinating, huh? I mean, that's the thing, right? In a sense, I am Gary Newman. In a sense, right? Because Gary knew me, right? We used to work together, right? I used to work in the same office as Gary. Yeah, I'm the man. That's right. I'm God. Hey, you all want to die or something? You want to fuck with me? Is that what you want to do? Is that really what you want to try? It's a bad idea. I can promise you that. You watch the news lately? No? I think it's time for a drink. Yeah? What we go here? A bit of whiskey. And that's the other thing, right? Because when I started DJing when I was a teenager, well, my late teens, I remember I bought the Plum DJ's Eargasm album on vinyl. And one of the tunes that was on there was Pray For You, which featured Gary Newman. And his lyrics are, it's something like, I'm not praying for a miracle, basically, right? I mean, it's strange, right, isn't it? Because the song's called Pray For You, and then his lyrics are, I'm not praying for a miracle, blah, 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 blah. But anyway, it's magic. Yeah, that's what it is. And anyway, I don't have that album anymore because it was stolen from me by a bunch of dickheads who live in Brighton. Yeah, that's right. A lot of people, well, there have been, a lot of thieves I've known living in Brighton. Yeah, a lot of thieves stealing shit. I lost my entire vinyl collection, left at a guy's house, and never got it back. DJ equipment, my hi-fi, my Pioneer hi-fi that I got when I was probably about 11 years old, 12 years old, when I was a kid. I got that 25 years ago. Used to use it for DJing. All kinds of stuff, yeah. Oh, can we borrow that, mate? Oh, is that okay? Can I just take it around my house? You can get it back. You'll get it back later. Yeah. And then never get it back. Or I take it back, and then a week later, like, oh, can we borrow it again? Oh, can we borrow it again? Can we borrow it again? So I'm just fucking hold on to it then. Do you know what I mean? And then we fall out with each other, and it's like, well, never getting it back. Yeah. But their intention was to steal it from me. They always wanted to take my stuff from me. Patrick. All kinds of people tried stealing shit from me. That's all the world does. That's all the people in the world know how to do, is steal from me. Pretend they're me, curse me, abuse me, talk shit about me. Until the day I reveal myself, and you find out who I really am, and then you find out what the fuck's gonna happen to you. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I just thought when I saw Gary Newman's real name, Gary Anthony James Webb. What the fuck? And there's the James Webb Telescope. You know, on YouTube, Gary Newman's YouTube channel only has 115,000 subscribers. It's not very much. I would have thought you'd have more, to be honest. Yeah, he's a real hateful bastard, that guy, isn't he? He really is. Yeah. You know, you listen to his old stuff, right? So his old music from the 80s, and compare it with from the late 70s to the early 80s, and compare it to the more modern stuff. He seems to just gotten a lot. He just turned very bitter, very, very bitter. Yeah, he really doesn't like me, does he? No, he doesn't. Strange that, huh? And of course, well, it's the story about Gary Glitter. What happened to him? Oh yeah, so Gary Glitter. Yeah, he went to prison, didn't he? That's right, he did, didn't he? Yeah. don't know what else to say, really. Yeah. I'm very angry with the world. I really want to hurt the world. After all the shit it's done to me, yeah, I do. I want to punish the world. I want the world to pay. I'm very unhappy. I will have justice. See, the thing is, because Gary Newman, well, he changed it. I don't know if he changed his name. I guess he did change it. It says, no, that's his real name is Gary Anthony James Webb, but he's known professionally as Gary Newman. Yeah. Yeah. Well, my old boss. Wonder what kind of day he's gonna have today, huh? Hope it goes real shit for him.